Hi everyone, back tuning into today's video. We're doing the August month-ahead forecast today. Going to have a look at some of the seasonal models and see what they're predicting for the month ahead. The seasonal models do come out into monthly periods as well as seasonal periods, so we're going to see what they're predicting for August. Also have a quick review of July and also have a quick sneak peek at the very end of the video at September. Now, before I get on with everything, just want to talk about the advertising. There's green keyword ads on all my pages at gazweathervids.com. If you roll your cursor over the green keywords, they'll display ads, but if you click through the word, you'll go to the advertiser's website and you'll be supporting gazweathervids.com by doing that. It allows me to sit here and talk to you via the website, via gazweathervids.com, and go through all of these charts and do all these videos every day. So it's important that you do click through the green words if you can, because I say you're supporting gazweathervids.com and allowing me to do all this by doing that. So going to start off with August, with July first of all, I should say. The July forecast was very clear, and it was for a hotter and drier than average month. I actually said in the July forecast, I did at the start of July, but I thought we could be in for our first classic summer month for a long time, and indeed that is what has occurred. So I'm very pleased with the July forecast. It's certainly been a warm month and a very dry month as well, although actually rainfall for the month as a whole is coming out in many places round, or maybe in some circumstances, certainly where I am in North Hampshire, a bit above average, and it's all down to the thunderstorms that occurred on the 27th. So one day, one night of storms kind of skewing the figures, but if you sort of take that out of it and you look at the month as a whole, the other 30 days, it has been, and it was a very dry July, really. So it just goes to show that the statistics, the numbers don't always give a clear picture of what's going on. Sometimes you get a really wet day, but the rest of the month is very dry. That one wet day can kind of skewer the final outcome, and actually I think we can say that July 2013 was a pretty dry month, to be honest, and certainly very warm. The Central England temperature here from the UK Met Office coming out at 18.3 there across Central England. That is the hottest month of any kind since July 2006, the hottest July since July 2006 as well, but the hottest month of any month since July 2006 also. So a really warm, dry, classic sort of summer month, and I'm very pleased with how the July forecast went. So having a look ahead to August, we'll start off with the CFS version 2 model first of all, and these are 700 millibar heights. What we're looking at here is a big anomalous area of below average heights around and just to the west of the British Isles, above average heights sitting up to the northeast. That's the high pressure that's given us all of the fine and warm weather, I think, through July. It's pushing off up towards the north of Scandinavia in August, if this is right. We're under much more of a low pressure sort of influence there, below average heights indicating low pressure around the British Isles for much of the coming month, and also the jet stream is coming through something like that. So the CFS model is going for an unsettled August, and that's not a particularly inspired looking 700 millibar height anomaly chart to start us off. Temperatures from the CFS model coming out around average, but in the far southeast and across much of France actually, where it's been very hot. France has been much hotter than in the British Isles in July. Actually, August is being predicted to be below average across France and around the seasonal average for many parts of the country as well. So a near normal temperature signal there from the CFS model, but below average to the south. For rainfall for August, it's going for a very wet month here. Actually, it does look as though it could be really quite substantially above average in terms of the rainfall. So pretty average temperatures, wet month, and 700 millibar high anomaly showing an anomalous trough of low pressure around the British Isles for much of the time. Certainly not a particularly inspiring month if the CFS model is to be believed. The next model we're going to look at is the JMA model. This is just updated literally within the last 10 minutes, and we can see the British Isles is just here. We're upside down on this. Sometime I'm going to try and find out how I can turn this around so that I need to turn it upside down so that it's easier to see. But anyway, that's the British Isles there. Excuse me. And this is broken down into weekly periods. So this is taking us from the first week of August, from the 1st to the 8th of August. And we see that, well, we've got blue colours there across the country. We've got the jet stream coming in virtually through the country like that. We've got low pressure really around the country. This is 500 millibar heights, but the blue areas extrapolate to below average heights, which is low pressure. The yellow and orange areas above average heights, that's high pressure. So that's very similar, actually, to what we're just looking at on the CFS model, with high pressure moving up towards the northeast and low pressure sort of taking its place, moving in off the Atlantic. So that's quite an unsettled looking signal for the first week of August. Although with the high pressure just to the east of us, we will perhaps be keeping some sort of a southerly influence, so maybe not that cold, but certainly much more unsettled than we're used to. The second week, 500 millibar heights, looks absolutely dreadful. Look at that, deep blue colours there across the country. That's a proper trough of low pressure sitting around the British Isles. Again, the jet stream is coming through, or maybe even tracking a little bit to the south of the country. So the jet stream going south on the cool side of the jet under a trough of low pressure. That would be a very cool and unsettled looking signal for the 9th to the 15th of August, the second week of August. And then finally have a look at the 3rd and 4th weeks of the month. Again, there's no real improvement here. The colours come up a little bit, but I think that's just because it's further out, so the signal isn't quite as strong. But basically, the idea is that we're still keeping the jet stream running through, or maybe a little bit to the south of the British Isles. We're still keeping a low pressure influence there around country. No sign really of high pressure. We've got one little area there around the Azores, that's where it should be. We've got another area well to the north and the northeast, moving up in towards the Arctic, but there's no real sign of high pressure there going out to the 3rd and 4th weeks of August. So if that's right, again, it's sort of agreeing with the CFS model that we're going to have a pretty unsettled time of it through August, with low pressure pretty much in control, and consequently you would expect temperatures to be around, or maybe even a little bit below average for the month as a whole. The Beijing Climate Center, first of all, this is broken down into 10-day periods, and we start off first of all with the 1st to the 10th of August. Again, it's 500 millibar heights. The blue areas are extrapolated to below average heights. The orange areas are extrapolated to above average heights. It's the same idea that we've just been looking at from the CFS model and from the JMA model. For the first 10 days of August, we've got an anomalous area of low pressure there, below average heights sitting around the British Isles, so it's unsettled for the first 10-day period, and that goes through into many central and northern parts of Europe as well. Low pressure is in control for the first 10 days of the month. Going through to the second 10-day period, there's no improvement from the 11th to the 20th. The below average heights, there's an anomalous area below average heights still sitting there, deep blue colours, indicating low pressure is firmly in control through the middle of August. So it's very unsettled, I'm afraid, with showers or longer spells of rain, and it will be cool as well. Having a look at the final 10-day period, signs of a bit of an improvement there. The colours are coming up. We're going more towards beiges, which is sort of normal pressure, really. The blue, the below average heights, is shifting off to the east and weakening. Of course, again, as with the JMA models, we go out towards the latter stages of the forecast period, the model sort of loses the signal slightly, so that's why the colours always come up. But I think we are showing signs there for the final 10 days of August that we may be shifting the low pressure way to the east. We may be starting to get some sort of build of high pressure starting to come back in from the Atlantic. So maybe for the final 10 days of August we might see some improvement, but that does look quite tentative, to be honest. Temperature anomalies for August showing that we're going to be around, or maybe a little bit under the average. There's the British Isles there in those pale blue colours just there. So yeah, it looks like we could be a little bit under average for August. And for the precipitation, the rainfall, look at that, we're coming out with a very wet month. Big areas of blue there around the country. That is a proper wet month, and if that's right, I think with that sort of rainfall anomaly you would be expecting to see temperatures coming out below average, to be honest. Finally, have a look at the South Korean model. This this is broken down, again, I think it's broken down into 10-day periods because it's early, mid and late month period. So I would say it's something like the 1st to the 10th, the 10th to the 20th, the 20th to the 30th. This is for late September with lost early and mid-August, so this is for late August, and we're seeing below average pressure there around the British Isles. This is sea level pressure, got below average pressure for the final 10 days of August, so again this is implying that we're having an unsettled sort of end to August. At the very least, the high pressure is pushed out into the west. But then look what happens for September. For early September, we build the high pressure in across the country. Deep red colours come back for the first 10-day period of September. That's a very nice anomalous area of high pressure sitting over the country, and it's quite typical actually, but we do get an area of high pressure during early September. It's called the Old Wise Summer. It's a period that very very often presents high pressure influences. But then as we go through to the middle part of September, this is probably for around the 10th to the 20th of September, I would say, low pressure coming back very, very strongly then through the middle 10 days of September. Big anomalous area of low pressure comes back, deep blue curves there, very unsettled going into the middle of September. So signs that will build high pressure in for early September, but then through the middle of September, it probably turns very unsettled if the Korean model is correct. But coming back to August, we'll worry about September closer to the time. Coming back to August, it's a bit of a flip around from July, you have to say. A big flip is looks like it's taking place. The signal for August is as clear as it was for July. For July, it was a very clear signal that we'd have a hot and dry month. For August, the signal is very clear that we're going to have a very unsettled and rather cool month, certainly no better than average, maybe coming in a little bit below average. So I think that has to be what I go with. There's no sign at all there that we're going to have a repeat of July. So I can't sort of sit here and sort of go against all of these models. The evidence is there from the models. Of course, they could be right. They're seasonal, they're experimental, so this is all just for fun, really. Don't take it too seriously. But the signal has to be, or the forecast has to be, from these signals from the seasonal models, that we're going to have an unsettled August. Low pressure going to be very much in control. It's a flip from July. Low pressure dominates, unsettled, above average rainfall, possibly well above average rainfall, and temperatures no better than average, maybe even a little bit below. So that's the uninspiring forecast for August from GavsWeatherVids.com. Thanks very much for watching. Bye for now.